Welcome to Iraqi Dinar News, where you receive real and authentic updates about the Iraqi dinar. If you want to stay informed with moment-by-moment developments, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Today we are examining an interesting discussion that has been circulating among members of the Iraqi dinar community regarding future exchange scenarios, potential banking fees, and the importance of financial planning if any significant changes ever occur in the value of the Iraqi dinar. The conversation focuses less on Iraq's current monetary policy and more on how individuals should think about wealth management, transaction costs, and long-term financial decision-making if they ever find themselves exchanging foreign currency into US dollars. The core message behind this discussion is that a currency exchange event, even if it were to happen under favorable conditions, should be viewed as a starting point rather than a finish line. This perspective emphasizes that financial success is often determined not only by the amount of money a person receives, but also by how that money is managed over time. While some participants in the dinar community focus heavily on exchange rate speculation, experienced financial professionals frequently remind investors that preserving and growing wealth requires careful planning, disciplined decision-making, and realistic expectations. The statement suggests that money received from a hypothetical dinar exchange could potentially be multiplied over a period of 3, 5, or even 10 years through wise financial decisions. It is important to understand that such outcomes are never guaranteed. Financial markets involve risks, economic cycles, inflation, interest rate changes, and countless other variables. Nevertheless, the broader lesson remains relevant. Historically, individuals who receive sudden wealth often face major challenges in managing it effectively. Studies involving lottery winners, inheritance recipients, and recipients of large settlements have repeatedly shown that receiving money is one challenge, while preserving and growing it responsibly is another challenge altogether. For Iraqi dinar followers, this raises an important question. If a favorable exchange scenario were ever to occur, what would happen next? Many people spend years focusing exclusively on exchange rate discussions without dedicating equal attention to tax planning, banking relationships, investment education, estate planning, and risk management. Financial experts often argue that these subjects become significantly more important after wealth is acquired. Another major topic raised in the discussion involves banking fees. The example provided references foreign currency exchange charges and suggests that some financial institutions may impose substantial fees when converting foreign currency into US dollars. The specific example mentions a hypothetical 7% fee and discusses the potential savings that could result from negotiating lower fees or qualifying for fee waivers. This aspect of the discussion deserves careful analysis because transaction costs can have a meaningful impact on financial outcomes. In many areas of finance, investors focus intensely on gains while underestimating the cumulative effect of fees. Whether dealing with investment management fees, brokerage commissions, currency conversion costs, or banking charges, even small percentage differences can become significant when large amounts of money are involved. The example presented assumes a scenario in which 1 million Iraqi dinar would become equivalent to 1 million US dollars. It then calculates how a 7% fee could result in a $70,000 charge. While the mathematical example is straightforward, viewers should recognize that it is based on a hypothetical exchange rate and should not be interpreted as a prediction or expectation of future currency values. What is more important from an analytical perspective is the broader lesson regarding transaction costs. If an individual is exchanging any asset, whether it is foreign currency, stocks, bonds, or real estate, understanding the associated cost becomes essential. Professional investors routinely compare service providers, negotiate fees when possible, and seek clarity regarding charges before completing transactions. In practice, banks often have different policies depending on account types, customer relationships, transaction sizes, and institutional guidelines. Some premium banking programs may offer reduced fees or specialized services for clients with larger balances. Other institutions may apply fixed charges rather than percentage-based fees. Because policies vary significantly from one institution to another, individuals should always verify current terms directly with their financial institution, rather than relying solely on generalized examples. For the Iraqi Dinar community, this discussion highlights an issue that is frequently overlooked. Much of the conversation surrounding currency speculation focuses on potential upside scenarios, yet relatively little attention is paid to execution strategies. If someone were ever in a position to exchange foreign currency, understanding documentation requirements, banking procedures, verification processes, reporting obligations, and transaction costs could become just as important as the exchange rate itself. Looking at the short-term implications, discussions like these encourage greater financial awareness among dinar holders. They shift attention away from emotional reactions and toward practical preparation. Regardless of what happens in any currency market, individuals who understand banking systems, financial planning principles, and wealth preservation strategies are generally better positioned to make informed decisions. The emphasis on avoiding emotional behavior is particularly noteworthy. Financial history is filled with examples of investors making poor decisions during moments of excitement, fear, or uncertainty. Behavioral finance, which studies how psychological factors influence economic choices, has demonstrated that emotions can significantly affect investment outcomes. When people suddenly experience financial gains, they may feel pressure to spend quickly, make speculative investments, or pursue opportunities that appear attractive but carry substantial risk. Professional wealth managers frequently recommend creating a structured financial plan before making major decisions. This often includes establishing emergency reserves, evaluating debt obligations, considering long-term goals, consulting qualified professionals, and assessing risk tolerance. These steps help reduce the likelihood of impulsive actions that could undermine long-term financial stability. From a broader economic perspective, it is also useful to distinguish between personal financial planning and actual developments within Iraq's economy. The discussion being analyzed focuses primarily on hypothetical outcomes for currency holders rather than confirmed monetary policy changes. Therefore, viewers should separate personal financial considerations from official economic indicators. When evaluating the Iraqi dinar, analysts typically monitor factors such as oil revenues, government spending, foreign currency reserves, inflation trends, economic diversification efforts, banking sector reforms, and monetary policy decisions. These variables provide a more reliable framework for understanding the dinar's position within Iraq's economy than speculative exchange rate assumptions alone. Iraq continues to face both opportunities and challenges. As one of the world's major oil-producing nations, the country benefits from substantial energy resources. Oil exports remain a critical source of government revenue and foreign exchange earnings. At the same time, economic diversification remains an important objective because dependence on a single commodity can expose the economy to volatility in global energy markets. Banking sector modernization has also been an area of focus in recent years. Efforts to improve financial infrastructure, increase transparency, enhance digital services, and strengthen regulatory frameworks can contribute to broader economic development. These reforms may support greater efficiency within the financial system, although such changes typically occur gradually rather than overnight. For long-term dinar observers, the most important takeaway may be the distinction between speculation and planning. Speculation focuses on predicting what might happen, Planning focuses on preparing for multiple possible outcomes. Successful financial management generally relies more heavily on planning than prediction. If an individual believes a particular investment has potential, responsible preparation includes understanding both opportunities and risks. It involves considering best-case scenarios, moderate scenarios, and unfavorable scenarios. This balanced approach helps create resilience regardless of market conditions. The discussion also touches on an important concept known as opportunity cost. If a person receives funds through any investment or financial event, the future value of those funds will depend largely on how they are allocated. Some individuals may prioritize debt reduction. Others may focus on income-producing assets, business ventures, retirement planning, or diversified investment portfolios. Each choice carries different risk and return characteristics. Financial professionals often emphasize diversification because concentrating wealth in a single asset class can increase vulnerability to market fluctuations. While diversification does not eliminate risk, it can help reduce the impact of adverse developments in any one area. This principle applies whether someone is managing a modest portfolio or substantial financial resources. Another issue worth considering is inflation. Even if someone receives a significant amount of money, inflation can gradually reduce purchasing power over time. This is one reason many investors seek strategies that aim to generate returns exceeding inflation rates. Maintaining purchasing power is often just as important as achieving nominal gains. Tax considerations represent another area that should not be overlooked. Tax laws vary by jurisdiction, and large financial transactions can carry reporting obligations and tax implications. Individuals contemplating major financial decisions are generally encouraged to consult qualified tax professionals who can provide guidance based on their specific circumstances. Returning to the example involving bank fees, the broader lesson is that attention to detail matters. A small percentage difference can translate into substantial dollar amounts when transaction values become large. This principle applies not only to currency exchanges, but also to investment expenses, loan interest rates, insurance costs, and many other areas of personal finance. One reason experienced investors pay close attention to costs is that savings achieved through fee reductions are effectively risk-free. Unlike investment returns, which depend on market performance, reducing unnecessary expenses produces an immediate and measurable benefit. Therefore, comparing service providers and understanding fee structures can be a valuable component of financial planning. At the same time, it is important not to focus exclusively on cost. Service quality, security, reliability, regulatory compliance, and institutional reputation also matter. Sometimes a lower cost option may not provide the same level of support or protection as a more established institution. Financial decisions should therefore consider both price and overall value. As viewers evaluate discussions surrounding the Iraqi dinar, maintaining realistic expectations remains essential. Currency markets are influenced by economic fundamentals, government policies, international trade dynamics, geopolitical developments, and investor sentiment. Significant changes in currency valuation generally result from complex economic processes rather than simple announcements or isolated events. This reality underscores the importance of relying on credible information sources. Official government statements, central bank communications, reputable financial institutions, and established economic research organizations typically provide more reliable insights than rumors or unverified claims circulating online. For members of the Iraqi dinar community, responsible analysis involves distinguishing between confirmed facts and speculative commentary. Facts can be verified through official documentation and credible reporting. Speculation involves opinions about future possibilities. Both may be discussed, but they should never be confused with one another. The conversation we analyzed today ultimately delivers a message that extends beyond the Iraqi dinar itself. It highlights the importance of preparation, financial literacy, cost awareness, and long-term thinking. Whether discussing currencies, stocks, real estate, or any other asset class, these principles remain relevant. Short-term market developments often attract the most attention because they generate excitement and headlines. However, long-term financial outcomes are frequently determined by consistent decision-making, disciplined planning, and a willingness to focus on fundamentals rather than emotions. For Iraqi dinar followers, this means paying attention not only to currency discussions, but also to broader economic developments in Iraq, banking sector reforms, fiscal policy trends, energy market conditions, and international economic relationships. These factors provide important context for understanding the environment in which the dinar operates. As always, viewers should approach any projections regarding future exchange rates with caution. Hypothetical examples can be useful for illustrating financial concepts, but they should not be interpreted as guarantees or promises. Every investment carries uncertainty, and outcomes can differ significantly from expectations. The most constructive approach is often to remain informed, evaluate information critically, seek professional guidance when necessary, and maintain a balanced perspective. Financial success is rarely determined by a single event. More often, it reflects a series of thoughtful decisions made over many years. Thank you for watching today's Iraqi Dinar News Update. If you value responsible, factual, and balanced coverage of developments related to the Iraqi dinar and Iraq's economy, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for future updates. Remember that this content is provided for informational and educational purposes only, and should not be considered financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. Always conduct your own research and consult qualified professionals before making financial decisions.